You might be like me and have too much stuff in your kitchen if you're using your stovetop and inside your oven as storage for pots, pans, and other paraphernalia. You can't open a cabinet without stuff falling out. Every drawer is a junk drawer. If you can relate to any of those scenarios, it might just be time for you to join me and declutter your kitchen. That's what we're doing today. I am going to ruthlessly go through every cabinet and drawer in this space. Such an important room of the house to get under control, and we are starting now. It's messy to minimal. Let's go.
A palette of gold, gold, gold. A palette of gold, gold, gold.
I know exactly where we need to start. What's the most important thing made in the most important room in the house? Coffee. This is our coffee cabinet, and also some supplements. It's so bad. I mean, just way too many things in here, and also poor use of the space that we have. So I think the way I'm going to just tackle this to give myself a good, easy win to get the ball rolling is to take every single thing out of this cabinet and put back in only what I actually use, because there is some stuff in here that I haven't seen for months. I have been so excited to bring back my Messy to Minimal series here on this channel. And if you're excited too, I would love it so much if you would drop this emoji in the comments. That way I can get down there and chat with you all a little bit more. If you're new here, my name is Natalie. Welcome. I love to share videos about cozy, simple homemaking and our life here in the Pacific Northwest. I started my original Messy to Minimal series in our old house, and that was back in 2020. Oh my goodness, we got rid of close to 90% of our stuff in that first couple of years that we worked throughout our house. And I'm honestly so encouraged when I look back on those videos, because if I can do it back then, I can certainly do it now, and so can you. If you're like me and your house has gotten a bit crazy and you have too much stuff and you really just need that kick in the pants to get going and get rid of stuff, I hope you will use these Messy to Minimal videos as a companion, sort of as a buddy to work alongside. I am here to encourage you, to gently motivate you, to keep it real and show you the real messes and the real clutter, and then to share tips and tricks with you along the way to make it a little bit easier to say goodbye to the clutter and hello to a peaceful, simplified home. We've got this cabinet cleared out, and I'd actually like to clear out this drawer as well, because I think I'm popping supplements back into here. This used to be a tea drawer. I have girlfriends who love tea over so often that's actually been converted to a tea tray. That's just this portable thing that we take outside with us on the porch swing, to the dining room table, over to the couch, and the tea drawer has become obsolete. Oh my. As you can see, the tea drawer was already starting to turn into the supplement drawer as I was tossing stuff into here that I needed. But honestly, this brand, I can't remember the name of the brand, but this is their Better Hormones supplement. I took for months and I didn't really see a change. So I think I'm going to offer this, since it's still perfectly good, to one of my sisters or my mom and see if it's a good fit for them. What is this doing in here? Anyone need a lightning charger? This is actually ripped open. I need my little hand back. A lot of the supplements that I'm seeing here that I took out of this cabinet are from before I started getting my migraines, and now I'm on a different regimen, and so a lot of these just don't belong here anymore. And consolidate some of these, because I think I accidentally opened 2 of my multivitamins. I can declutter this package out. This is ridiculous, the pots and pans on my stovetop, because I don't have enough room in, okay, we're gonna get to that. But this, I can live with this. This works. And this cabinet up here, I mean, there's absolutely nothing in it at all, but I'm only going to be putting a few things back. The 2 Yeti tumblers that Weston and I use, this copper one, all chipped and like peeling apart. The Stanley girlies could never, but it works for us. All right, that goes there. This thing tips over so bad. We never reach for it, ever. Like, we never use this thing. In fact, its lid is quite dusty. So this one's gonna go. This is an example of one of those situations that I was trying to come up with a solution for how crazy this cabinet gets without actually putting the work into getting rid of stuff that we're not using. Our kids have Yeti mugs and we have our 2 tumblers. And they all have the same size lid that pops on. So I got this little thing, you probably saw it in the beginning, that sits here and you slide the lids on. But this takes up space. It's kind of finicky and difficult to use. And I'm just sitting here going, why didn't I do what I typically do, like with food storage and stuff, where I store the items with their lids on them. This was so unnecessary. I saw this on Instagram that somebody shared their Amazon must-haves, and this, I must not have it. It is more trouble than it's worth. It cost me money, but I'm not gonna hold on to it just because I spent money on it. I still use the French press from time to time, especially when we have guests, so that can go in there as well. I don't need these anymore, so these can go in the pile as well. Okay, we are in really good shape, and now some space to put my coffee mugs. So you know what? I think that is the next cabinet that we're gonna move on to, starting with moving the coffee mugs over and decluttering out the ones that I'm not going to keep in the process. Okay. I'll keep glass mugs over there, I think, with my other glassware. I think that makes sense. But ceramic mugs, like homey mugs, unfortunately, this one does have to go. This one, I bought it in Ireland. That's special and I love how it feels in my hand. And there is still room to breathe. Okay, since I pulled the mugs out of this cabinet, this is where we are working next. It's been quite the journey to get to our family's dinnerware. And I'll just give you a brief summary. For our wedding, we got a very basic square-shaped set of Corelle plates. Most of them have held up beautifully over the years, but for me, they were just a little bit too casual for me. I wanted something a little bit nicer, which led me to the Fable brand. Amazing customer service, wonderful people, beautiful pieces. However, they have not stood the test of time in our home. We really do try to take care of our stuff. We try to teach our children how to take care of stuff. But when you have a home of kids and their friends and all of that, stuff gets broken and chipped. This is literally the only plate of a full dinner set that we have left. One by one, we lost piece after piece, whether it was glassware, dinnerware, flatware. It's just so unfortunate. So I am back to the tried and true, good old trusty Duralex brand. They literally have this brand in French cafeterias at school because they're basically indestructible. We've never had a piece of our Duralex glasses ever break. We've bought our first Duralex pieces back when the boys were babies because we were advised by another set of twin parents that these were basically indestructible, and that has been our experience as well. As far as dinner plates go, I've just been taking the super cheap route and finding secondhand blue and white mismatched plates. And yes, these ones, I've lead tested every single one. I probably haven't paid more than $1 or $2 per piece. And there's just something really sweet about a nice blue and white classic. It just feels really classic to me. As I get older, I'm drawn more and more to those classic pieces with a vintage touch. I'm going to keep these little cereal bowls because we need bowls of some sort, and I have not built up my collection of blue and white ones. These ones, however, we're not reaching for them. Most of these ones are chipped. We don't need to keep just one plate. And someone out there might be happy to find a little Fable set at the thrift store. And you know, life is too short to not eat on the good china, which just so happens to be the piece that I paid 75 cents for at the thrift store. the garbage that I found today.
What is that stuff?
Oh, it's like expired protein powder that I didn't really like and old coffee that went bad. Well, good morning. It's the next day. Fresh start to keep doing some decluttering here in the kitchen. Fresh start, fresh mess. I'm just finishing cleaning up after breakfast and our homeschool time that we had. You were going to hear various child squawking and games and puppy barking. We've got, is that Bop It I hear? And a young man was unloading the dishwasher. This hinge has been on its last screw for a while, and this is a really good reason why we should be decluttering. Because when our drawers and cabinets get too full, they start to not work for us. And I am a firm believer that our homes should work for us, not the other way around. So I'm going to address this issue right here. I think we're going to take the whole door off because it's just hanging there by its top hinge, and that's starting to warp that one. And then we're going to declutter that and the rest of what we've got going on in here. Okay, there's just way too many things in my Dutch ovens. I have this Le Creuset one and also this maroon one, which is pretty, but it's not very good quality. I got it at, I think, TJ Maxx. I hardly ever reach for it. The handles are not, they don't feel right when you pick them up. There's a lot of things that I don't love about it, and since it's just sitting here taking up space and I'm not actually really using it very often, I'm going to declutter it out. I also think I'm going to declutter out this stainless steel pot lid. I have talked for years about the hex-clad pans. We've had them forever. And forever, they did a really good job. But unfortunately, like in the last year or so, they have been flaking. And I do not want that. One of the reasons why we were attracted to them is sort of the more non-toxic aspect of them. This non-stick layer flaking like a stinking Teflon pan in 2005 does not sit well with me. Okay, I have some doubles here. This fits the pasta size. The two things I've been storing on the stovetop because I ran out of room in that drawer. New stainless steel pan that could use a good barkeeper's friend scrub, but I've actually been enjoying using stainless steel. I was scared of it for years, and then I finally bit the bullet, put on my big girl pants and said, I'm gonna learn how to use this, and it's working out well. I would like to get a better quality one. I don't like the handle of this one. I have small hands, so handles are a very important thing to have dialed in. I love the hex-clad handles. Like this one's all scratched on the bottom, and we only use wood or like silicone utensils, so the hex-clad products are not working out for us anymore. I am gonna keep the stock pot for now, just because we do need something to boil in until I can make the investment into a stainless steel pot. So for right now, we have one frying pan. Its lid that it came with is this stainless steel one, but I actually prefer the hex-clad lid that fits that size. So pot over there, lid on this side. That's getting decluttered out. Can go there. It's funny, I go into a spot thinking, oh, I have to totally rearrange things or do something different for organization. Sometimes we can be tempted to buy a special box or a bin to corral things when we first look at a spot. But then once we start actually decluttering things out, it's like, oh, everything magically fits again. All of a sudden, nothing's gonna bust out. I'm gonna have to do some work on that door before I can put the hinge back on. There's some just kind of chipped up wood. We have been putting our toaster oven on this lowest drawer because I don't like to have very many appliances out on the countertops. But it just gets so many crumbs in here. Today's not a cleaning day, so I'm not wiping stuff down right now, but this could definitely use a good wipe out. But doing decluttering before you're cleaning helps so much because it makes the cleaning process go so much faster. Okay, this cabinet's done. There's plenty more to add to the decluttering pile because of it. Let's do this drawer while we're here. Okie doke. That is a broken thermometer. This doesn't belong in there. This is a very specialty light bulb that goes in our hood vent that I need to take to the store with me to find a replacement for. I couldn't figure it out online. Random plastic straw that goes to nothing, so this can get decluttered out. Don't even own the bowl that goes to this lid. Why are we keeping it? Random Christmas tree ornament hook. Bye. Mallet. Bench scraper. It's clear that I'm throwing canning jar lids and rings into here. These ones are all rusty. I prefer the 4 jars lids, so I'm actually going to just donate those. Maybe I shouldn't donate them because they have rust on them. Okay, TBD. That's a crab picker fork. This is a piece of ginger. This is a piece of nutmeg. What are these doing? Oh, it's because I have this grater in the drawer. They're all dried out anyway. She's talking to herself. Okay, Yeti lids. Looks like I have a couple of Yetis to find to match up with their lids because remember, we match lids with bases. That way they don't end up in random drawers. Pastry drawer. There's another thing of nutmeg. I know I said it's not a cleaning day, but I just can't do drawers with crumbs. It's also a little bit sticky, and since I have stuff out of it, I might as well just give it a quick wipe down. I'm breaking my own rule. That's one thing you'll learn about me if you're new here. I don't really like to follow rules. In fact, when people tell me that minimalism has to be one way or the other, or I'm only allowed to have as many forks as the number of people in my family. I'm only allowed to have 2 children. Yes, I've been told that before too. I'm not a minimalist if I have more than 2 children, which, guilty. I tend to just kind of buck against that line of thinking because everyone is different. Your kitchen tools drawer might look completely different than mine. You might have more, you might have less. Minimalism for me, or what I like to call simple living, is about having it work. I use every single thing in this drawer on the regular, and now it has a little bit of room to breathe. Okay, time for the Zaboomafoo cabinets. Whew, nothing fell out at me this time. I would say Weston and I have a very good marriage. We're a great partnership, and we're both invested in the smooth running of our home and having a peaceful, simplified home. I'm very grateful for that. But if there's one place in our home that we don't see eye to eye on, it's the spice collection. And I'm not going to name any names. You can just take your guesses. One of us likes to have a very simplified, let the food speak for itself and add some basic spices to it. Maybe add some fresh citrus and herbs while you can. The other one loves to try every single new spice blend that Costco comes out with without finishing the other ones first. Oh, look at that, ramen spice packets. Because apparently someone only ate noodles at one point. That was not a parent adult thing. I think that was a kid move. Oh, look at that. Another spice blend. Another spice blend. And another. They just keep coming. Boy, they. Oh, another ramen pack. What in the world? I'll tell you what, I am the one responsible for a lot of the mess up here because I love to use this flaky salt, so I'll put my hand in to grab some and then it like drags salt through the cabinet and over the countertop. It's on me for sure. Whoa. Oh my gosh, do you think I have enough cloves of nutmeg? Why are they only half grated? I could just see the comments right now. Says, today's not a cleaning day. Proceeds to clean every cabinet. Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. I do like to have this little Lazy Susan in here for our most used spices. That would be cinnamon, honey, woo, pepper, my flaky salt, and secondary spices over here on the side. A little bit of bouillon, a little bit of furikake, apple cider vinegar. I do use a lot of onion and garlic, so there's that. This is empty. The way we have compromised before on our different seasoning styles is that this is singular seasonings, this is seasoning blends. And you know what, maybe the height choice here will indicate to you who likes what. This is shared with permission. I will say Weston always appreciates the work that I do to simplify And he's always happy with the result, especially if that means things run smoother and it's easier to feed our family as a result. Okay, several expired spices or blends that we've gotten and we don't like. Actually, I have one that's completely unopened, so I'm gonna add that to my food bank donation pile. And then the others I could, you know, if I was really on top of things, I would repurpose the little glass jars. That's not me in this season of life, just not right now. That's okay. Okay, time to move on to the appliance garage. There comes a time in every kitchen decluttering project when you must hop on the counter. Okay, this goes to the rice cooker. Rice cooker pot and lid is in the sink right now. So we used it for breakfast. A little steamer basket that goes with it. I actually usually store it on the bottom because we don't use it as often. All of our pieces and doodads for our Ninja blender. Still love this thing so much. It's like one of those 3-in-1 things, personal size smoothie maker, large size blender, food processor, and they all fit onto one base, so it saves so much space. Thank you very much. And you know what? I don't think I actually got rid of anything in here. And I'm not here to just get rid of stuff because it's a decluttering video if there's nothing to genuinely part with. I'm not gonna do it. I don't fake things on my channel. So there you go, we just straightened that one up. Okay, since we're here in this corner, this clutter, this is stressing me out. I thought I would save like clearing off the countertops for the end, but since I'm here and visually getting this cleaned up will help keep the ball rolling, I'm gonna tackle this. Way too much stuff right here. Let's go left to right. Okay, Kirkland Signature Balsamic Vinegar. Love it, don't use it every day. It's going back in the pantry. Kirkland Signature Extra Virgin Olive Oil. Don't love it, but I know my mom does. So I'm actually gonna offer this to her. It's like a brand new bottle. I tasted it once and went, nope, you know what I like better? Partana. Please. I think this is the result of hosting and bringing out some of like my tongs and serving spoons that I only use for the extra volume of guests and the extra food that we're serving, but I don't need them in my daily collection. I'm gonna do the reverse decluttering thing here and take everything out and only put back in my essentials. This isn't even my rice spoon. This belongs to a friend of mine, so I'm gonna put that over there. What do I use every day? Dutch whisk, fish turner, these spurtles, 2 pairs of tauntauns, not 14, silicone spatch, wooden spoons. Bet you can't guess what I'm gonna do next. Not my best work, but it'll do, pig. What the heck? Stale bread in the fruit bowl. Cool, cool, cool. These mason jars actually need to go to the pantry where I store mason jars. More on that in next week's video. I think it's time to part with the cloche. It's really pretty and it's nice, and I had the idea of having this cloche on my countertop where if I ever have baked goods, they live on this. Baked goods don't last long enough to need to be stored under something like this. I put a plate of cookies, brownies, cornbread, what have you, out on the countertop and it's gone by the end of the day. And this just sits here empty, collecting dust. So it's getting donated. There we go. I love the idea of having a cozy little spot with a lamp here in my kitchen. But coziness will only take you so far. If the spot has too much stuff in it, it goes from cozy to chaotic real darn quick. Okay, not perfect in this corner, but so much better. And it's about progress, right? Over here on this channel, we say progress over perfection. That is our motto, and that phrase really helps me get out of that perfectionist, spinning my wheels sort of rut and be okay with it being just okay. You'll hear some people say done is better than perfect. So helpful to keep that in mind. Okay, I think this is the cabinet that I am dreading the most. Oh my gosh. This is one of those spots that you just mess up and shut the door and try to forget about. I don't even know what's in here anymore. This was supposed to be my baking cabinet, but it has gotten so bad and I just keep shoving things in here. So This feels so overwhelming. I'm gonna set a 10-minute timer just to reassure myself that it's actually not taking as long as I feel like it's going to take. While that timer goes and I work on this, I'm gonna let narrator Natalie share with you something about this situation that is a pitfall, something that I keep dealing with, that I dealt with back in 2020 when I started Messy to Minimal. If you've watched any number of decluttering or minimalism videos on other channels or on my channel, you may have heard the term fantasy self. This is what we hope to do, what we hope to be, and a lot of the time we can hold on to or acquire items to sort of fit into that fantasy self or that fantasy life that we want. I want to be someone who enjoys baking and makes sourdough bread and makes things from scratch. And there was a time when I did more of that stuff, just not in a stage of life where I am doing that sort of thing regularly, if at all. And there are other things in this cabinet for baking or cheese making or this or that I really wanted to be able to do, but it's just not realistic for me to hold on to everything in the hopes that someday when life slows down, I'll be able to pursue it. Am I at the point now with how busy life is that the sourdough thing is truly a fantasy self item, or could I realistically get back into it? I think because I've done it before and it was so successful and I really enjoyed it, it is realistic that I would get back into it. I don't think I need all of the supplies and stuff that I acquired. I don't use the fancy weck jars. In fact, both of them that I had broke, and I only have lids left. They don't actually fit over other mason jars. I've learned that just using a basic wide mouth mason jar is way better. Random grains and beans and stuff like that in this cabinet that actually just need to go back to the pantry. Some lima beans, some pearl barley. I'm not using these ingredients often enough to justify having them take up space in this cabinet. Also not even using baking soda often enough, so that can go back. I do use brown sugar quite often, as you can see. I actually need to refill it, which I'll probably work on when I do that pantry declutter next week. Got this citric acid and rennet for my cheese making fantasy self. This is bread making stuff that I will keep under here with the bread machine that I want to keep using, and this 225-plus-year-old dehydrated sourdough starter. And you know what? If the next time I go through my kitchen, it's still sitting there in that same position and I haven't touched it, I'll reevaluate then. It's okay to not let go of everything the first pass. And I want to give you some permission. If you're having trouble letting go of things, that's normal. And it is okay to not let go. It's not like you're breaking some rule or you're doing it wrong. If you don't have this huge pile of stuff that you've decluttered out by the end, sometimes it takes a few passes and some time in between to really give yourself that space to evaluate what you're actually using and what you're not. Not everything needs its own special container. I like to do more bulk things. You know, I'm more of a macro organizer. Not every little thing gets decanted into its special little spice. I mean, you saw my spice cabinet. The package it comes in is usually what I opt for when it comes to what I store it in. But this is looking better. There's the timer. Okay, that was only 10 minutes, but tell me why. Tell me why. Why do I feel like I just ran a marathon? Fantasy self stuff is kind of exhausting. Look at all of this to be added to the declutter pile. That's the biggest little bundle yet. Okay, that pile is definitely getting bigger. I was just chatting on my Patreon page with you all about what is the hardest thing for you to declutter in your house. For me, it is that sort of fantasy self category. I'm seeing a lot of like sentimental items, kids items, etc. It's so nice to be able to chat and to have that community over on Patreon, this community here on YouTube. I'm so very grateful. Speaking of Patreon, those who are subscribed over there actually got to see this video first. I did an early release of it, and so they've been watching it for a while. If you'd like to subscribe to my Patreon, it's just $5 a month, and actually Patreon has made it possible for me to put this video out for you all today without taking a sponsor for it. I'm so very grateful. And if you enjoy extra content, we do lots of gardening over there. I've got antique hauls, kind of old school YouTube videos like Get Ready With Me or Outfit of the Week and other stuff like that, then you'll want to go check out my Patreon. For now, I think it's time to move on to this cabinet underneath the sink. Let's do a rapid fire declutter in there. Okie doke. These little packs may be the culprit to the septic issue that we had several months back. So they've just been sitting in here because we converted back over to liquid. I kept this little deli meat container for some stuff that I'm using in my greenhouse. So that can go out there. Dish soap, dishwasher detergent in there. It's not Pinterest worthy organization, but we use every single thing in this cabinet and it has been pared down. Got that there, and we're good in there. How about this drawer? Oh look, there's nothing in it. That's my dish towel drawer. I need to do laundry. You know this beeswax wrap? I've had it for years and reused it over and over again, and I think it's actually lost the wax on it. I think it's been washed and used so many times that it is time to let those go. Not doing so bad. And then this is a pizza peel. This goes in the drawer underneath my oven. And I really need to get this one under control. There are so many things in this that I do not use. In fact, I could probably pull every single thing that's in it currently out and never miss it again. 2 cast iron pieces that I never use, because while I'm brave enough to try stainless steel, cast iron is still very much intimidating me. I bought those secondhand anyway. These 2 pans are Teflon. I never make muffins, and I certainly never make artisan baguettes. I don't know what I was thinking. Fantasy self, there we go. Declutter out the stuff that you don't use, and suddenly you have room for the stuff that you do use. Wow, that looks so much better. Oh my gosh, my oven is dirty. Please ignore that. You know what I realized I didn't declutter? This cabinet right here, which is totally arranged wrong. Look at that, tea bags. For you parents of littles out there, I just want to encourage you that it does get easier. I mean that genuinely. Every stage comes with its challenges. Right now, the current challenge is that when our children do their chores, like unloading the dishwasher, sometimes things get put out of place. I am having to remind them pretty often that our food storage containers get stored with the lids on. Thank you very much. I never use this little garlic Le Creuset thing. When I'm making confit garlic, I'm making a much bigger quantity than what that can hold. So I think it's time to declutter that out. No one's knocking on the door, by the way. They just have a mortar and pestle outside and they are grinding herbs on the back patio. That Yeti lid. How many Yeti lids and nutmeg cloves have I found in this video? Lunchbox with the lid on. Food storage with the lid on. I'd call that messy to minimal. So much better. And that will conclude our decluttering for the day. Do you want to see what I decluttered out? Let's take the garlic over and go check out that pile. Holy moly! This is so much more than I was expecting. But man, it feels good. Whenever I bring stuff out of my house, it feels like my house is so much lighter. Like I just have this sense that my house is happy, that I am not burdening it with stuff that we are not using. I mean, there are so many pieces I've just stacked on. I'm not gonna show you every single little bit and bob, but it is quite the collection. Plus random things that I tossed in our kitchen garbage and other things that I put into this garbage bag here. Now I don't have to be embarrassed when our cabinets are open if people are over. Less than last night when I had just worked on the coffee cabinet, and then also over here, he was getting a plate down for dinner. He's like, wow, it's looking sharp in here. As good as that pile looks over there, more so than that, my kitchen is back to being functional, and that just puts a renewed spring in my step. I can actually envision myself getting back into sourdough baking now that my kitchen is not an absolute heap. I've got this little stack. Oh, where did the Stardew Valley one go? Some kids' cookbooks that they love. They're always looking through these, coming up with new ideas, wanting to try recipes. I'm so happy that the work that I did over the past couple of days will help us enjoy our time even more together. So I'd call that an extreme declutter. You might be wondering about the other cabinets and drawers that I have here in the kitchen island. I consider those pantry jurisdiction. So when we are decluttering the pantry next week, both the room down the hall that we use for our pantry as well as the pantry storage we have in our kitchen, then I will be opening up these drawers and cabinets and doing more decluttering and simplifying with you. If you're not subscribed yet, I would love it so much if you would do so. Turn that bell to all notifications so that you don't miss when I post a new video. Thanks so much for spending a little part of your day here with me on my channel, and I'll catch you later.